everybody, here we go. Brand new week here on the Cabral Concept. So glad you could join me. We're going to be talking about here today the 3 relationships that will transform your well-being. I found in my practice now over the last 26 plus years, 30 years in all, is that working with clients is very interesting. And it goes for myself as well. Sometimes we seem to be mastering one area of our life, but we realize that we still yet haven't made it, that we haven't found that peace, that joy, the escape from the irritability, overwhelm, and anxiety that we are looking for. And I think the reason is that we're only mastering one part of our overall well-being. And I want to share with you those 3 main parts here today, with the first one being our relationship with our mind. This is so critical because I've met some of the most successful people in the world in terms of at least career or finances or celebrity status, etc. Like they're billionaires, A-list celebrities you would know from the movies, etc. I've worked with them as clients. And what I've realized is that they don't have it all. They might have one part of life mastered, which is the maybe notoriety or finances or whatever that might be, but they have not mastered the mind. And why this is so important is that oftentimes they are more self-critical than anyone. And this just goes for anybody in life, right? Let's kind of step back into our own world. Self-criticism leads to higher levels of stress in our life. Higher levels of stress leads to inconsistency because we get down on ourselves. Instead of celebrating the small wins, the getting better 1% every day, we look for these major wins, right? Like that are almost unattainable. And instead of saying, wow, I lost, 1 pound this week. No, it wasn't 3, but you lost 1. Or I've got a little bit more energy. Or yeah, 3 nights weren't so great of sleep, but I had 4 good nights sleep this month. People aren't celebrating the journey, the progress that they're making. And because of that, things can be very stressful. So part of it is simply first thinking about, what do I have to be grateful for? It's so important. Like that's one of the biggest things I look at. Yeah, not everything's going my way. This could be better. But look at all I have to be grateful for. I was talking about this with my wife on Sunday. We actually got out of the house for a couple hours together. It was, it was fantastic. Our girls are getting a little bit older. And so when I was talking, I was like, I just felt it come over me. I said, can you imagine, thinking the way that we think, doing the things that we do, having the amazing family that we have right now, even 15 or 20 years ago? It was unimaginable to me, unimaginable. So maybe I haven't achieved everything I'm looking to achieve in life, but where I am today is light years ahead of where I ever thought I would be, right? So with that same mindset, imagine where I will be, unknown, in another 10 to 15 years. Sometimes our timelines are too short. We put too much stress on ourselves. Be very careful the language you use with yourself. Don't put yourself down. Don't talk negatively to yourself. You are with you all 168 hours a week. Nobody else is. Be kind to yourself. Don't be your own worst enemy. Choose your words deliberately. Celebrate the small wins. Find things to be grateful for and always keep perspective. You're way ahead of where you thought you would most likely be 20 years ago, and the best is yet to come. Number 2, not the relationship with your mind, but the relationship with your body. All I see all over social media is how far people can push their body to the limits in any different direction. Literally, like extreme weight loss, extreme body fat loss, extreme muscle gain, extreme exercise, extreme dieting, extreme deprivation. Like everything is the extreme. Workouts, exercise, sleep deprivation, all of these things were never meant to be to the extremes. Ayurvedic medicine gave us the answer 6,000 plus years ago in recorded history, back when they were writing on papyrus, bark stamps, everything, right? Carving it. What did they say? Balance. Find balance in your life. That doesn't mean moderation at all, right? It means find balance. When you're dealing with a chronic-based illness, balance means you need 9+ hours of sleep, right? That's not moderation. That's what your body needs at that time, right? If you're looking to lose weight, and you are overeating and under moving, okay, balance means getting out there and moving your body more, right? So it's about, but if you have chronic fatigue and Addison's, are you going to be doing your 10,000 plus steps a day? No, because that's even excess when you're dealing with chronic fatigue syndrome or myalgic encephalomyelitis. So the goal is respecting your body. Now, again, I fall for it as well. Some of the favorite accounts that I like to watch are people going to the extreme. We all do. There are 50 plus year olds, 60 plus year olds running 100 milers, 200 milers, getting very minimal sleep, running 10, 15 plus miles a day. And it's amazing. It is actually truly inspiring. But what we want to look at, if we are looking to create that life of lower stress, more peace, more joy, less overwhelm, less anxiety, less irritability, healthy longevity, healthy health span, what we want to do is find and ask ourselves, what does our body actually need in this moment? Does it need more rest? Does it need more exercise, more movement? Does it need a functional medicine detox? Does it need a intermittent fasting day? Does it need a one-day reset? What does it need, right? That's what we want to be asking ourselves from an outside perspective. Really, we want to think about it from an outside perspective. What does my body need? You can run the Big Five Labs, you can run whatever you want to do, which gives you a introspective look at what your body needs, but also you can communicate with your body. That's the relationship you want to be able to build so that you know, even outside of your labs, oh, like I'll give you another example. My body's so prone to inflammation. It really is. I got back from an amazing week of spring break with my two kids. We went away, went to Costa Rica. It was fantastic. Loved it, had a great time. But we all caught a little cold on the ride back, on the flight back. Like that's just, again, when you're in a sardine can with 200 other people and you're going through customs and all that, people are coughing all over you. Sometimes you get it. Now, I recovered quickly, but my goal was to like get right back into working out. Like I wanted to really push my body, but I felt the inflammation. I felt the cold, and I knew now, again, like I haven't always listened to my body in this way, but I knew that if I pushed it really hard that week back, even though it wasn't that bad a cold, I would have gotten worse. And so what I did was I said, okay, we're going to take it easy. You're going to go on your walks, some light body weight exercises that you typically do every day, not your hard workouts. It pushed me back another week. I didn't want to do that because I only got in 2 real workouts while I was away with my family. No running at all, no cardio. So at the same time, you have to respect where you are in this moment in time. That means look at your digestion. Look at your sleep. What do we talk about in Personomics? My new book, right? What do we talk about? The 5 signs, right? So we talked about your digestion, your energy, your mood, your sleep, and then the outer appearance, your skin. Do you look like you're aging faster? That's not from a vanity standpoint. That means your body is aging from the inside out. It's oxidizing faster, right? So always pay attention to those 5 signs. All right, the last one. What is the third relationship that we want to look at in order to find the total well-being that we search for, the total package, to have it all, right? And again, we're humans, right? So we're not perfect. We have to know, as long as we know we're not perfect and life's not perfect, well, then we can sit in this place of gratitude, peace, and joy, knowing that not everything is going to be perfect. Not everything is going to go our way all the time, but you are truly content in life. All right, so this third relationship is this. Your relationship with not the mind, not the body, but in addition to those, the world around you. And that is the people you spend time with, especially the most time with. That might be your work, might be your family, might be community, church, etc. The space you live in, the space you work in, and the communities you're a part of. Why does this matter? Because we know that we are an organism inside of a greater organism. Let's back this out a little bit. Our cells inside of our body, they do well when the environment has less toxins. It's not as polluted. All right, now let's extrapolate that out a little bit. You're in a toxic, you may be in a toxic relationship, a toxic workplace, a toxic family group, a toxic community, a toxic social circle, right? One part of it is like, think about this. You're trying to get healthy, but when you go out with your friends and you want to give that up, it's just about drinking and overeating, right? And lack of sleep, bad choices. So here's the issue. What do we do? Because we know that we're not going to get the healthy mind, healthy body if we're continuing with the social circle. Well, it doesn't mean forget about those friends, but it's like, can you go out and not drink or drink less at first? Or even better would be, don't necessarily replace those friends, right? We're not saying that. Sometimes we need to take a sabbatical. I have a whole podcast on that. Just a few months, maybe even just 3 to 6 weeks to build up you. And oftentimes it's finding a new social circle. How do you do that? Joining a gym. There's so many health groups popping up all over the place now that you can actually join these run clubs, right? You could join a run club after work, before work. There's going to be 10, 15, 20 other people there. In places like Austin and Boston and all over, there are 40, 50 people. You're going to automatically meet those persons. You literally just say, introduce yourself. Hey, it's Steve. This is my first run club. I want to introduce myself. Super excited to be here. Like whatever your thing is, just say that. Like, oh, everybody, whenever it's someone's like first time joining or first week or, oh, it's only one of my first runs, they're going to be super nice. Why? Because people who join these groups typically are. They just are. Because they're about the activity. They're about the collective. They purposely are spending their time with other people to meet other people who all enjoy the same thing. And it's an easy way for you to get into it. And you could be a total beginner because people run at their own different paces, right? So I'm not even a big fan of boot camps, but join a boot camp, join a group class, join a spin class, I like things more like run clubs where we can actually chat with people right at the same time. But there's so many wellness-based groups and healthy social clubs that are being set up. So what I would say is this. What environments energize you? That's really what you want to look for. How do you get more of that? Sometimes we can't quit our job. We can't, move away, obviously, from our family, whatever it might be, but we can add more in that makes the world around us a little bit of a brighter place, something that we look more forward to being part of, right? Find the right church community for you. Find the right people, the right healthy social circles that are more growth focused, right? People who want to grow in life, who want to get better, not for the sake of being better than anybody else, but for the sake of being better in their own life. Because I know that if you get better and I get better, we're better for everyone around us. That's the truth. If I achieve more in this life through these things, right? Mindset, the body, the world around me, I have more to give. That's the truth. The more I fill my cup, the more I'm able to pour out. We know that that is a universal truth that has been given to us. Do more, right? Be more, do more, get more. When you get more, share more. It's always the case. Most of the most successful people I know love to be able to share. And the reason is that they're so unbelievably grateful for what they have. Not everyone, but most, that they want others to have that feeling too. Well, we need to be helping ourselves at the same time to be able to get to that level. We'll accept the help of others. That's always a great thing. Accept the coach, accept the mentor, whoever it might be. I accepted that, right? That's how I got well. But then pour out that cup. Each one, teach one. Some of my favorite sayings out there, right? Teach another person to get to at least the level that you got to. You don't need to be perfect. I'm not perfect. Every single Monday I show up. Every single Monday sharing on the podcast things that I know to be true. One in my own life and the other working with over 250,000 people. But it doesn't matter if it's just an N of one of what it is in your life or you've worked with others at the same time. So first things first, we work on our mind. So important that we watch our language of how we speak to ourselves, the thoughts that we think, and we begin to reprogram that computer we have up here in our head, right? We want to be careful with the software that we're playing. The second one is our body. We need to find out what it needs. Forget about moderation. Find out what it needs to be balanced and healthy. And the third is important. It's the world around us, because our world around us truly determines how hard or easy it is to implement the first two plans. Hopefully this was helpful. As always, if it was, do feel free to share this show with anyone you believe it can serve. Have an amazing day, everybody. I'll talk to you tomorrow on a brand new Cabral Concept.